Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for those of you that had to park 2 towns over and walk here. My name's John Horgan. This is the 2nd annual New England History Festival, and it's a pleasure to see all of you here tonight. This has been called Historipalooza, a farm aid for historians, or a historical Woodstock, your choice. But we're trying to make history fun, and my moniker is The Past is a Blast. So we hope that you enjoy tonight's event. Now, you've been given a show program, and that is the order that we're going to try to proceed through. We got off to a late start, but tonight's program will run roughly through 9 to 9:30. There will be an intermission, and there will be interludes in between each speaker. First of all, I have to point out fire exits right here, straight out, get away from the building, and in back where you came in, straight out, get away from the building. Other things are restroom. These are housekeeping notes. Restrooms, men's room to the left, and through the door in the far left-hand corner is the ladies' room. And we do have concessions for sale. We have hot pizza, in addition to coffee, cider, fruit, and snacks available. So enjoy yourselves tonight. Now, when I first pulled this together, I wanted to make history more attainable. I had a discussion with a historical society recently, and I said, if you don't reinvent yourself for the 21st century, you will be history. Because we're quickly losing hold of not only the American heritage, but interest in the American heritage. And that's why I've tried to partner with historical societies and genealogical societies, because the genealogists are the last line of defense, it seems, right now for the historical reenactors and historical societies. So we're glad to partner with all of you here tonight. Now, we've got some great guests that I would like to introduce to you, and I'm going to work around the room. First of all, on the left-hand side here, to my left is from the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry Company A, Gerard Grimes, Tanya Grimes, Brenda Dixon, and Roberta Tillman, spelled Tilghman. Inbound is Emmett Bell Sykes. They will be performing for you later on this evening. Glad to have the 54th in-house tonight. Next up, representing the Lincoln Minutemen, I'm going to call them the last-minute Lincoln Minutemen because my pal Alan Boudreau came in the New York Minute and set up from my home reenacting company, the Lincoln Minutemen. Next to them, we have one of our performers tonight from PuritanTour.com. She's going to be speaking to you about Anne Vassell, Puritan woman, 1637, Linda Palmer. Also, adjacent to her is representing Margaret T. Winthrop, a 17th century woman, Linda Berry. And back over to against the wall because we swapped up at the last second. Representing the great musical outfit, the Jolly Rogues, and Tory Taylor, please welcome Joyce and Jim Murray. And right next to them, the fine author, you're going to be seeing his book. His name is D. Michael Ryan, Mike Ryan, Lincoln Minutemen and the Jolly Rogues. So folks, tonight's schedule, as you see, 1775 Parson. I'm going to be doing 3 5-minute vignettes to get us through, segues, one on the Great Nantucket Fire. Our keynote speaker tonight, author Stephanie Shoro. And I'll do something about the 175th anniversary of the greatest astronomical experience in the history of Western civilization. In fact, we just came upon the 175th anniversary on Wednesday, the night the stars fell, which is about a meteor shower in 1833. Then we'll go to intermission, and I invite you to circulate throughout the entire room. We've got some very interesting folks here. And then we'll come back with Julia Donahue, Mother Goose. Winthrop's Gust, which is about the first recorded Anglo-Saxon tornado in America. And then we'll bring Linda up for the Puritan Woman, the 54th Mass Infantry. And then New England in the Civil War, Dave Smith from the Civil War Roundtable of Greater Boston. So special thanks goes out tonight, first of all, to the Historic Society of Watertown. Without their help, their guidance, and their assistance tonight, Peggy Anderson, Ruth Arena, Bob Childs, Joyce Kelly, Mary Spires, Carl Nugebauer, my friends, the Historical Society of Watertown.
Thank you, John.
Now, Bob, We've got a great something going on in Watertown. It's the historic Fowl House that just opened this year in 2008. And I was wondering if we could talk about it, some of the famous characters that have gone through that house.
You're right, John. This house has been buried for the last 232 years as a private home, but now has been fully restored to its 1772 and 75 appearance on the inside. And the reason we have done that, the Historical Society of Watertown, is this house has a tremendous amount of historic importance. It was the place where when April 19th occurred, the Provincial Congress meeting in Concord, they needed to find another place to meet. And they came to Watertown. And they set up in the meeting house, and then across the road was the Edmund Fowl House, owned by Edmund Fowl II. He had not finished the second floor of that house, and so it was open studs and everything. And this august body that was meeting in the meeting house needed a private place for the Executive Council to meet. And so they provided boards, tables, and chairs expressly for the meeting of that body. Now we're talking about John Hancock, John Adams, James Warren, Joseph Warren, and the list goes on. The new luminaries that met in this house on that second floor. Now, as of May of this year, it is now open to the public. We have tours. Matter of fact, tomorrow will be our monthly open house, and from 1 to 4. It's located at 28 Marshall Street, which is just sort of parallel to the Common Street burial ground, if anybody knows where that is. And so we welcome you to come by and visit and sit in the place where all of these famous men met and organized the beginnings of our country. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you. Bob Childs, ladies and gentlemen, Historical Society of Watertown. And again, there's a tour tomorrow. Log on to historicwatertown.org for the Fowl House. Special thanks goes out to the Waltham Historical Society, another organization that I am proudly a member of, the Edmund Sanderson Lecture Series. I want to introduce to you the presidents, Sheila Fitzpatrick and Wayne McCarthy. Stop by their table. Also, special thanks goes out to Phyllis DeAndrea. She's the author of Rubbing Off History, written in 1976 about how to do gravestone rubbings. She's got books for sale and more maps. Phyllis, stand up, say hello.
I bought all the maps.
You bought all the maps, all of them, Tom. Next up, also we have from the National Archives and Records Administration, Northeast Region. Please welcome Mr. Joe Keefe. Next to Joe, from a very exciting tour known as the Liberty Ride, also representing the National Heritage Museum and the Lexington Historical Society, Ms. Masha Traber. And finally up here next to Stephanie, representing the genealogists in New England from the Massachusetts Genealogical Council, Mr. Mike Brophy. Special thanks goes out to New England Ancestors Magazine. The NEHGS has been very, very kind to not only the New England History Festival, but to myself as well, publishing my articles on New England Dark Day. Please pick up your complimentary copy. It's a great historical magazine, a great organization to belong to. They've got some really neat stories, and it's one of my favorite magazine subscriptions, as my wife Jenny can tell you, of the 200 that I get every month. A special thanks goes out to my wife Jenny, folks. She put up the entire ambiance with the help of the HSW, so how about a hand for my wife? And my brother-in-law has traveled over 3,000 miles from Seattle, Washington to be here today, Ian Banks. And as I mentioned, Mr. Mike Ryan, expert on Concord and the Dawn of the Revolution. He's got his book for sale. It is a great book, a quick read. I loved it. Mike Ryan. And as I mentioned, stop by, say hello to the Lincoln Minutemen. And a special thanks goes out to the New England Historical Genealogical Society. And our sponsor today, you're saying, what the heck is this, UFO beer? Well, the reason is Harpoon IPA, my personal favorite, is the greatest IPA ever. And if the little text says, by showing the slide, John will ask for more complimentary cases of beer from his pals at Harpoon Brewery. Thank you. That gets me through the whole winter. I appreciate that. And again, Dave Smith is back there. He's the only one at a round table because he's from the Civil War round table. So there you go. Marilyn Roach. Marilyn, where are you? She helped us setting up. She's the consummate expert on the Salem witchcraft trials. She's got 2 wonderful books out, one for children. She's, in fact, in the middle of working on another one. Marilyn, please stand up. And as I mentioned, we are now in historical Woodstock.